Hi, everybody. Welcome back. While my British subscribers are complaining about the heat, our chill is back, which is not good for my back. So while we have clear skies and it does not look cold, I have my little heater on at my feet. Anyway, so today we are steering away a little from the book as Meghan's early history is indeed one vicious cycle of manipulation and using people to further her own ambition. It is literally wash, rinse, repeat, repeat, repeat. We have spoken about her diva behavior with photographers at restaurants and so on ad nauseum before the book even came out. So very little in the book actually comes as a surprise. So I am now at the second chapter dealing with Trevor Engelson and their wedding and marriage and so on. And once I have read that, we'll have another chat about the book. Today, I want to talk to you about the things which concerns me about Harry and Meghan and their relationship, the dynamic between them and the results and possible results or future results of the liaison. Firstly, it is my opinion that they are both self medicating and that the result of this will eventually be more devastating for Harry than for Meghan. The reason why I think and feel this way is because I have seen things like this before, and there are telltale physical signs which we cannot ignore. You and I may not be medical professionals, but I have subscribers who are, and many of us have family members, friends, or colleagues who use self medication to try and solve their problems. Now, I do not profess to know exactly what the couple is using in terms of medications. But I do know that certain medications prescribed for even mild to severe pain can be addictive and can cause harm long term. Now, I sincerely doubt that I'll be allowed to mention names or brand names of such habit forming and potentially dangerous medications. But remember, in moderation or when used as prescribed, these medications are there to help. But when a person embarrasses him or herself to solicit others to get these medications for him or her when they had run out on their prescriptions, then there is likely a problem. Now, I cannot say more for legal reasons, of course. We also know that Meghan grew up in a household where smoking marijuana was common. We hear in both Samantha's book as well as in Bauer's book that Doria was more than just a social smoker and more than just using it for medicinal purposes. Doria was indeed a regular marijuana user. We also heard that Meghan's half brother partook of the weed from an early age, something he himself admitted to. Mr. Markle Sr. himself admitted to smoking marijuana and using other drugs. We also heard how Meghan supplied it to her guests at her wedding to Trevor. Harry, however, grew up in an environment where it was frowned upon. We know that when he was actually caught as a teenager, that he was reprimanded and that his father took him to a rehabilitation center to see the effect of drugs on others. Where we are now in 2022, it appears to be likely that both Harry and Meghan are partaking of the weed. Now, it may be gossip, and I have obviously not seen it with my own eyes, but I have heard it from so many people, and of course, their past makes it likely that it is true. One person even told how she could smell the smell of weed on Harry. The other issue is the use of alcohol. As a virtual non drinker myself, someone who only on the odd occasion likes a drop of whiskey and water or even neat when having company or in the hope of relaxing a little, I am absolutely not ever in favor of alcohol use in excess. Unfortunately, I had two uncles and a grandfather who were alcoholics, and the effects on their families and eventually their own health were devastating. We know that Meghan likes her white wine to the extent that she named her blog after a certain brand. In Harry's earlier years, we saw some of his drunken brawls play out in the media. We regularly see members of the royal family enjoying their favorite drinks. We know, for example, that the Queen favors her Dubonnet and gin with a slice of lemon. We know Charles is partial to a gin and tonic, and Camilla favors red wine, which is quite normal for people who can afford it to have a glass of something at the end of a long day. But for Harry and Meghan, it has never just been at the end of a long day, has it? As someone who is sensitive to the signs of alcohol abuse, I have seen many photographs of Harry these last few months with a sweaty scalp, red cheeks or nose, and this leads me to believe that he may perhaps have champagne for breakfast, a couple of beers for lunch, and at least a couple of glasses for wine at dinner time, or even supplementing dinner for a couple of wines. Now, guys, although it is said that the use of marijuana alleviates the symptoms of depression, and that is obviously with moderate use, and that marijuana does not cause depression, all of this may be true, but it is not the entire truth. Actually, far from it. It is true that some people with depression may use marijuana to detach from their depressive symptoms, but heavy users will appear and react in a more depressive state because of the dulling effects of the drug on feelings and emotions. Unfortunately, it had also been proven that the use of marijuana can trigger schizophrenia or psychosis. It is also fact that the symptoms of any psychotic illness will be aggravated by the use of marijuana. There is also evidence that depressed people who attempted suicide were more likely to have used weed. Because of YouTube and their rules and regulations, I cannot go into this further. I'm also not a qualified medical practitioner. But if what I just said raised concerns with you about a loved one, you can consult excellent articles by the Mayo Clinic on their website or, of course, a medical professional. Then we look at the use of alcohol and depression. I'm not even going to go into the whole spiel of the how and whys. The message is simple. Drinking makes depression worse. People who are depressed and drink too much have more frequent and severe episodes of depression. Heavy alcohol use also make antidepressants less effective. Again, there are more detailed information on the websites of the Mayo Clinic and WebMD, amongst others, or if there are such concerns in your immediate family, please contact a professional for help and more information. Now, painkillers containing oxycodone is a common prescription drug for pain, but it does increase the risk of developing a depressive disorder. Additionally, pain without a definite cause can be a symptom of depression. So, the use of these prescription drugs and pain are heavily linked. And I'm going to leave that there and return to Harry and Meghan. Now, we know that Harry admitted to severe bouts of depression, so much so that he could not get out of bed, or so he said. He mainly attributed this to environmental issues and trauma, but at nearly 40, the causes are now less important than how he is handling his depression right now. Although a healthy diet and exercise goes a long way to alleviate the symptoms of depression, it is not the beginning and end all, and neither is therapy. In Meghan and Harry's relationship, or since the start of their relationship, we have seen a complete turnaround in Harry's personality. Yes, people grow up and become a little more serious, but in Harry's case, it is more than that. I don't think we have seen any other celebrity, or even a royal for that matter, scowling or sulking as much and as often as we do Harry. We see him losing and gaining weight from one event to the next. And recently, I have seen two photographs in particular which I find very concerning. The one was taken in Wyoming, and the other one as they left the United Nations building. I do not need to tell you about the effects of drug and alcohol abuse on the skin, the body, including internal organs and teeth, etc. As somebody's body is, however, covered with clothing, the first signs to outsiders will manifest on the face, and not always in the form of, say, ulcers or lesions, etc., or even redness in the case of alcohol, but often also in expressions. Now, we cannot take one photo and say, oh, old Harry is drinking, or oh, old Harry is drugging. No, no, no. That would be stupid, as we all know a camera can lie, and that you can be caught in a bad moment when you are pulling a face or the light falls just right to make, say, your nose look longer or redder or whatever. But when there are a series of photographs showing someone not looking like themselves, and these photographs are taken few weeks apart, then there may be reason for concern. And when I look at Harry's face in these photographs, I do think there is reason for concern. My dear friends, before I love and leave you today, I want to say the following. Please do not take every word I said in this video as the gospel. Please do your own research. If you have concerns, be it about your own family or friends or even old Harry. In my opinion, the relationship between Harry and Meghan is a very negative one, which is holding them both back from being the best people they can be. And in my opinion, it will be Harry who will suffer the most long term. But that is my opinion based on what I have seen and experienced in my own lifetime. I am not diagnosing anyone with anything. I am not qualified to do that. So, my dear friends, please, please take good care of yourselves and your loved ones until we meet again on the next video. Bye.